Okay. Hello, guys. Welcome to our session. Today is Monday, so don't feel lazy or boring. Okay. Just we'll continue our class for today. Okay. Last week we discussed about some terminologies. What is QA or QC or QA? Okay. And also discussed about the test cases. What is the importance, the significance of test cases, and all right. So as well as also we designed some test design techniques, right? So today also we'll continue on the test design techniques what we have covered last week. So we'll cover that much as okay. Let me share whiteboard. So you guys able to see whiteboard, right?
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So we'll discuss something test. Okay, so now we'll discuss about the test design techniques. Okay, this is very important one, and also in many interviews this concept will come. Okay, like what are the test design techniques and how you used at the time of writing test cases. Okay, the main important role of a test engineer is to write the test cases. Okay, so test case means it is a step-by-step process to be performed on the application. Okay. For example, if you want to test a login page, then how to write the test cases. For the login page, first step is enter a URL in the browser. Okay. And next is enter the username, and next is enter password, and next is click on the login button, right? So let me try some. Okay. Okay. Username, password, login. This is your okay. So let's assume this is a one login page of any banking application or whatever any application. Okay. So the first step is we need to enter a URL. Okay, once I'm entering the URL, then we'll get a login page by displaying username and password and login. So for our the test cases, so how we have to start? The first starts with the URL. Enter URL. The next step is enter username, and next step is password, and the next step is login. Okay, so once we click on the login button, we need to check the next step is whether we are getting the home page. Okay, after login we'll get the home page, right? We are getting the home page is working or not. Okay, see, so these are the some few steps sequential what we have to maintain the test case. Okay, these are some sequential steps. Okay, we have to write. Okay, this is called some test case. How to write a test case? Test case is something like it's a step-by-step process. Okay, step-by process to perform on the application. Okay, so like an example, first step is entering the URL, the next step is entering the username, and next is password, and next is login. Once login, we need to verify we are getting the home page or not. So the main job of tester is writing a test cases, but at the time of writing a test case and few scenarios and few areas, we need to use certain techniques to design the test data. Okay, so let me give you some example there. Okay, let's take as this username field. Okay, let me draw it as separate. Okay, this is username field, and the minimum characters is 4 and maximum characters is 8, and which accepts only lowercase letters from A to Z. Okay, so I have a text field like this. text field is a username. So I want to check whether in this text field I need to enter username. So as per my requirement, I need to enter this username between 4 to 8 characters. So minimum characters is 4 and maximum characters is 8. So that my requirements, and I can enter here the lowercase letters from A to Z. So this is my requirement. What is your requirement? The character should have a minimum 4 characters and maximum 8 characters, and the letters we have to enter is lowercase letters from A to Z. So this is my requirement. So in this username text box, I can add minimum 4 characters and maximum 8 characters. This is called, what is this called? The entering the characters from 4 to 8. What is this called? Come on, if you guys remember this, it's a range. What is this called? Entering the characters from so and so range to maximum range is called range. Okay, and it accepts only lowercase A to Z. So all are lowercase letters. So this is called a value. Entering, what is the entering is called as value. Okay, entering is called a, and maintaining the range, maintaining the characters so and so range is called as range. Okay, so they, based on these requirements, I need to prefer some test data to test this kind of scenario. So based on this requirement, I need to prepare some test data. Okay, test cases, not only writing the test cases. Okay, in the test cases we need to perform some uh, actual data. Okay, so we need to perform some test data. Whereas entering the test data, what is the expected outcome is coming for us, okay, during testing. So that we need to consider in that case. So in that case, we need to prepare some test data based on this requirement. Okay, ranges 4 to 8 characters. Okay, and value is lowercase a to z. Okay, clear?
Yes, sir.
Requirement is clear, right? Now we'll see. Now if you want to test this kind of this, how many kinds of inputs are required? Okay, for to test this kind of text field, how many input fields are required? Okay, one second. Okay, now if you want to test this, how many kinds of inputs required? Okay, normal means suppose let's take a range here. Okay, those who are speaking, okay, those who are not, can you keep it in mute? Okay, thank you. Okay, so now if you okay, so now let's take a range here. Okay, range is 4 to 8. What's the range? 4 to 8. So if you want to test 4, our test should pass. Okay, if we are giving the ranges, okay, like A, B, C, D. Okay, it should pass, right? Because we are giving minimum 4 characters. So our test case should be pass. Okay, if we are giving minimum 3 characters, will it pass or fail? Come on, anyone can answer. Hello.
Fail, sir.
Why?
Range is 4, na, sir. మన range requirement తీసుకున్నాం కాబట్టి fail.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so it is accepting only 3 characters. So will it accept? No, because our range is minimum 4 characters. So this test case should be fail. And one second. Okay. Okay. So like so if we are giving 3, then it should fail, and if we are giving 4, then it should pass, right? A, B, C, D. So A, B, C, D is pass because we are passing lowercase A, B, C, D and checking for minimum 4 characters or not. So this test case is pass. And if you are giving more than 4 and less than 8, will it pass or not? Will it execute or not?
Execute.
It will pass.
Why?
It is between the range.
Between the range, yes.
Okay, that's good. So I'm giving 9 characters here. Will it accept?
No,
No, sir.
Why?
it is out of range.
It is out of
That's-
range.
Yes, that's good. So we have to consider like this. So we have to write test cases for minimum range 4 and maximum range 8, and also in the middle and minimum characters like in the middle, like a 4 to 8 between, and less than 4 and a greater than 8. So how many test cases here we got? Minimum 6 test cases, right? So if you want to test 4, our test case should pass. Or if we test with 8, our test case should pass. And also we need to check invalid scenarios. Invalid scenarios means, suppose if I given less than 4. So less than 4 characters means it is 3. So if I given less than 3, like 3, 2, or 1, something. Okay, if I give, and that should be fail. And suppose if I give more than 8, like 9 characters or 10 characters or beyond, then our test case should also fail. So in order to test this, we need to test all possible inputs. So how many possible inputs we are getting? We have to test all these types. Okay. So if this text label is small, okay, this is text label is small and the requirement is small. Okay, that's why we are getting simply 6 scenarios and we are writing the 6 test case and we are getting success on the test case. What about if it is more than like of 40 characters or 80 characters or so level, let's suppose 4 to 80 characters, then how we'll test it? So it is difficult to write these many test cases and difficult to test this type of scenarios, right? So okay, but if it is a large means we cannot test all kinds of inputs like this, right? So but if we don't test all this, our test cannot be completed. So what we need to do this is to reduce our testing. So we need to use minimal test data. Okay, so we need to use minimal test data which will lower our complete application. Okay, complete application scenario. That's how we need to prepare the test data. So to prepare that kind of test data, we need to follow certain techniques in testing. Okay, now let us see what are the techniques we are to use during testing. Okay, any questions so far? Let me. So we discussed about the test case, right? What is test case? And we have some test design techniques to prepare some test data metrics. Okay. So for that design techniques, we have couple of things that we need is BVA. We need to check these things: BVA, ECP, and error guessing. So what is BVA is boundary value analysis. ECP means equivalence class partition, sorry. And third one is error guessing. Okay. So now we'll discuss about this, what is what. Okay, what is BVA and what is ECP and what is error guessing. Okay, we'll discuss. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Please note down this. Okay, what is BVA, boundary value analysis, ECP is equivalence class partition, and third is error guessing. Okay, we'll get deeper into these concepts now. Okay, let me share my whiteboard again. Clearing this. So in middle, if you are not understanding, you are not able to get that topic, please raise your hands, raise your voice and ask immediately. Okay. Someone has sent a message in the chat. Krishna. So, okay, now we are going to discuss about BVA, ECP, and error guessing concepts. Okay, so now let's discuss a few test design techniques. So why test design techniques are useful to reduce the test data which will cover maximum testing. Okay, so the main intention of applying this test design techniques is we need to test completely to should cover all the kind of scenarios with minimal data. Okay, with minimal data, maximum data, and invalid scenarios like this. So we cannot test with huge data sets, right? So it is a lengthy process and takes a lot of time. So to reduce the data and should cover each and everything like positive and negative aspects, that is the reason we apply test techniques. సో ఇందాక మనం చూసినట్టు చిన్న చిన్నవి టెస్ట్ లేబుల్స్ అంటే చిన్న రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్ మనం టెస్ట్ చేసేయగలం. ఓకే, ఇన్ దట్ కేస్ పెద్ద డేటా ఉండి హ్యూజ్, ఓకే, వి హ్యావ్ హ్యూజ్ డేటా ఆర్ హ్యూజ్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్. ఓకే, in that case we cannot test each and everything. So for that, but by using these techniques, okay, test design, we can complete entire testing for any use data with minimal techniques. Okay, so first we'll discuss about that. Okay, so to reduce the data and should cover each and everything like positive negative aspects, we use this test design techniques. Okay, now let us see what are the different test techniques is. So we have BVA, boundary value analysis, ECP, equivalence partition, and we have error guessing, and we have two more. Okay, what is two more is decision table based testing and state transition. Yes, these are very, very important. Okay, entire testing is depends on this only. Okay, on this 5 only. Okay, if you're not clear, please raise your voice immediately. I will repeat it. Okay, no worries. So these are all the 5 techniques we have, and if you are going for certification courses also, these are all, you got lot of questions on these techniques. Okay, if you're going for any certifications or any interview, you'll get lot of questions on these topics. Okay, so we will go with examples with each technique. Okay, so we'll go with some examples to test to get some far better understanding. Okay, let's discuss about BVA. So first we'll discuss about BVA. What is BVA? Boundary value analysis. Okay, so what is this BVA? So BVA is based on testing at the boundaries between partitions. Okay, we will test about the boundaries between partition. Okay, I erased that, right? So in our example, we'll see BVA and ECP. Okay, these are the combination of example we'll see. Now let's take our previous example of username text field. Previous example, this one. Okay, so how to prepare the test data using these two for this label, we'll see. Okay, using BVA and ECP, we'll see how we prepare the test data. Okay, see. So so as said earlier, that this accepts only minimum 4 and 8 values is lowercase a to z. So it supports only 4 to 8 characters with lowercase letters small a to z. Now what is BVA means? It will talk about the range. So BVA will talk about a range. Range is what? Range is 4 characters and maximum 8 characters. So BVA will talks about only range. Okay, that range. So range of verification means what is the minimum and what is the maximum. It will talk about range only. So and ECP will talk about the value. What is the value we are allowing? Okay, so it will check. So ECP will check about the value and BV will check about the range. BV talks about the range and ECP talks about the value. Okay, now see the example for BVA. Okay, now we'll check the example for BVA. What BVA talks? BVA talks about range. Range is minimum 4 characters and maximum is 8 characters. Okay, as per my requirement, it is saying 4 to 8 characters are eligible. So we can enter only 4 to 8 characters are eligible. So BWA techniques divide the boundaries like okay. So what is the minimum for is sorry. So here minimum is 4 and maximum is 8. So in BWA we'll take 6 parameters totally. We take 6 parameters total. So if we cover 6 parameters, the whole testing is completed. We no need to test with other inputs. Okay, why is that? Suppose we want to test this completely. Okay, this complete field for positive of testing. What are the inputs we are giving here is 4 characters to test. This is what is we are giving. Eligibles are 4 characters, 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, and 8. These are all valid. Okay. So because we are 4 is valid, 5 is valid, 6 is valid, 7 is valid, and 8 is valid. Other than these 4 to 8, rest of them are invalid. Right. So now we tested with we are clear with the positive cases. Okay, we are clear with the positive cases 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it is accepting 4 to between 4 to 8 characters. So these are positive cases. This positive working flow is working fine. Now coming to invalid. Okay, we need to test invalid or negative test cases. So but there are n number of characters we have other than these 4. So we cannot test all them, right? So like before 4 characters, so like before 4 characters, okay, we cannot test, and after 8 characters we cannot test. So instead of so before 4 characters means it is like something 3 2 1 0 minus 1 so and so we'll get infinite, right? So we cannot test all, right? Even after 8 we cannot test 9 10 11 so and so up to infinity, right? We cannot test. So instead of all covering the numbers, all sets of data, we can reduce the data. Only we can test the boundaries. So boundaries is 4 boundary, sorry. So we can test these 4 boundaries and 8 boundary. Okay, we need to test these boundaries. Boundaries are starting at the ending. So for example, this is my maximum. Okay, and this is my minimum. So if you want to cover this range, we need to take 6 parameters. One is minimum, and if I said minimum, that should pass. Okay, that's our expectation, right? And if I enter maximum number of characters, then it is also pass. The maximum character is 8 only. So now at the boundary level, if we take 2 parameters, let's say 4 minus 1, how much? 3. So if I give 3, okay, 3. This is called minimum minus. Okay, minimum called minus. Okay, 4 minus 1, 3. So if I say 3, what is the expected? 3 is what is the expected for 3? 3. If I give 3 characters, what is the expected? Anyone? Is it pass or fail? If I give 3.
Fail, sir.
Okay, because we have the minimum character is
Having
4.
range of 4.
4. Okay. So if I say 3, it should fail. And here minimum plus 1. Next is minimum plus 1. Minimum plus 1 is what? Sorry, maximum plus 1 what is? Maximum is 8 plus 1. What is that? How much? 9.
Invalid. Invalid.
9 is valid or invalid?
Invalid.
So
Invalid.
our test case will, sorry, someone said valid.
Invalid, sir.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so our test case should fail. Okay, and here. And if you think minimum plus 1. So minimum plus 1, how much?
4.
4 plus 1. Minimum is 4. So plus
5.
1, how
It's
much?
valid.
So 5
5.
is a valid.
Valid.
So means our test case is
Valid.
valid. So it should pass. So if we cover
Yes.
these 3 parameters beyond the boundary, so minimum 4 cats should test and boundary minus minimum minus 1, 3, and minimum plus 1. So here we got 3 scenarios, right? Here how many got? We have 3. Out of 1 is positive and rest of, out of 2 is positive, 1 is fail. Minimum minus 1 is invalid and minimum plus 1 is pass and minimum is pass, right? So we are testing this boundary, minimum boundary, right? Minimum value boundary we are testing. So we got how many cases here? 3. Even if you give minimum minus 2, then what is 2? 2 is also invalid. 3 is also invalid. So we can test only one invalid scenario here, minus 1. So even if you give minus 2 or 0, we get the same result, like failed only. So we are getting some error message like, so character has not entered, we'll get something message like that. So we no need to test all these minimum values, okay, like 0, 1, 2, 3. So we can test it is enough minimum minus 1. Okay, we are testing boundary value for minimum is minimum minus 1. That is enough. So we are here getting here total 3 scenarios, minimum minus 1, minimum plus 1, and minimum value. The same thing we have to test for maximum boundary also. So maximum boundary we have to test maximum minus 1, maximum plus 1, and maximum. Okay, so maximum minus 1, how much? 7. 7 is a valid or invalid?
Valid, sir.
Yes, because it is between beyond less than 8. So it is valid. So and what is the maximum plus 1? 9. So 9 is valid or invalid?
Invalid, sir. Right.
Yeah. And if we test with the maximum 8 characters, is it valid or invalid?
Yes, maximum taker is valid.
Yeah. So yes, we have to prepare the data test data like this. So we have to consider boundary values. Okay. So we have to consider boundary values. So lower boundary and maximum minimum boundary values and the maximum boundary values. So if we cover like this, we can cover entire testing for scenarios for this username field. Okay, this is talks of, we are not till now we talked about the range only. So till now we tested only for range. So range testing is known as BVA, boundary value analysis. Okay, so this is what BVA. Clear? Clear? Do you want one more? Once more.
Yeah. Yeah, sir. Clear, sir.
So I will ask the question at the end. Then if you say, if you did not say, then I will ask you
Okay.
why you said clear. Okay, లాస్ట్ లో చెప్పిన తర్వాత అర్థం కాలేదు అన్నారు అనుకోండి, క్వశ్చన్ అడిగిన తర్వాత అప్పుడు చెప్తా. ఓకే. Okay. Now let's say one more example is number field. For BVA, we'll take one more field. This is number field. Okay, and the minimum characters is 100 and the maximum is 1000. Okay, guys, you have to say about this. Okay, meer cheppali idi, then test cases. So till now we have talks about the characters. Minimum is 4 characters and maximum is 8 characters. Okay, you said you are clear. Now tell me, this is for 100, the minimum character is 100 and maximum characters is 1000. How you will define the test data for this scenario? Will anyone come as a volunteer or I have to pick the names?
Actually, below 100 is invalid, sir.
Yeah,
Above
tell
100,
about like
above 100 and 1000 below is valid.
I want to get 6 total 6 scenarios. Okay, what is the first scenario? Tell me. 100 is
boundary is invalid.
no. Tell me like this. So how I said -1 or something? Yeah, I said right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100
plus
minus
1.
1 is invalid.
Minus 1 is valid.
Akila, you go. Okay.
Yeah, 100 minus 1 is invalid.
100 minus 1, how much? 98,
99.
right? 99. Okay. 99. Okay. Is it valid or invalid?
Invalid.
Okay. Invalid. Next.
1000 plus 1.
First, no. First, we'll go with minimum
Number.
boundary value. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. What are the possible ways? So you said
1000
you are clear on this. So that's why I'm asking. Yeah.
100 plus 1 is 101, which is valid.
So 100 plus 1 equals to 101 is valid. Okay, next.
Mm. Range between 100 to 1000 is valid.
So for that you have already given 101.
Mm.
So it is
Okay.
valid. Okay. Next, you missed one more.
Mm.
Okay. Rajkumar, can you try what you missed here?
100 also valid, no, sir.
That.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, 100 is, we have to test this thing. 100 is valid and minus and plus we have to say like this. Okay.
Okay.
Now go with maximum boundary value. Okay. Yeah. What are the possible cases? Rajkumar.
1000 minus 1 is valid, sir. Within range.
1000 minus
One.
1 is equal
Yeah.
to 999. So
999.
it's a valid.
Valid.
Okay.
Same, 1000 plus 1 is invalid, sir, as it is over range.
So valid.
Invalid, sir.
Oh, invalid. Okay. Copper sorry. Next.
1000 is valid, sir. Between range.
1000 is valid.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah. Shyam.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, చెప్పండి ఇంకేం పాసిబిలిటీస్ ఇస్ ఈ కరెక్టేనా ఇందులో ఒక రాంగ్ ఉందండి, మీరేమైనా ఐడెంటిఫై చేస్తారా? సరే మీకు తెలిసి ఏమైనా రాంగ్ ఉందా లేదా సరిపోయా చెప్పండి ఏదో పని. సార్ శ్యామ్ గారు చెప్పండి, మీరు మాట్లాడుతున్నారు నాకేం వినిపించట్లేదు. సరిపోయిందా లేదా? కరెక్టేనా? మిస్టేక్స్ ఏం లేవు కదా అయితే? Okay, excellent. Okay, so these are even when small minimum test data ఉన్నప్పుడైనా సరే ఎక్కువ test data ఉన్నది, so we have to consider these 6 possible cases. We have to test beyond and below. Okay, so we have to test. So any test field you have to preparing test data, we have to consider these points. Okay, so we have to consider BVA, boundary value analysis. Okay, clear?
Yeah, clear.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so BVA will mainly focusing on range or boundaries of data. So BVA will mainly focusing on range or boundaries of data. But coming to ECP, okay, will verify actual value of the data. Okay, coming to ECP, what will talks about actual value of the data. Let's see the difference here. Okay, here is your username label with same requirements like minimum 4 characters and maximum 8 characters. So for the same thing, I use it to prepare data based on these two techniques, BVA plus ECP. So for ECP, we'll divide the data like this, like valid criteria. Let me write here. Okay, valid criteria and valid criteria. So as per my requirement, this is how we need to focus on. Small diagram. Okay. This is valid. This side is invalid. Okay. So as per my requirement, what is valid data is? What is the valid data? Valid lowercase a to z. Okay. Other than this, everything is invalid. Okay. Everything is like numbers from 0 to 9 or uppercase letters a to z or any special characters. You know special characters, right? Other than this, okay, numbers are alphabets than special characters like @ symbol, okay, hash, dollar, so on and so on. All these comes under as a special characters. Okay. So what is my requirement as per the valid case is lowercase a to z, and invalid case is 0 to 9 uppercase letters or any special characters. Okay. So we need to prepare small label like this. Let's say valid is this and invalid is so and so. So when you prepare test data, we need to consider only when we prepare test data, we need to consider only valid part. Okay, we need to consider only part. This is a kind of categorization. What is valid and what is invalid in respect of BVA and ECP. So in BVA, most focus on the range, right? In BVA, we are focusing most on the range, and in ECP, more focusing on the value entering into the text box. Okay, so whenever you see text boxes, you should apply both BVA and ECP techniques. So in BVA, we have 6 partitions, right? In BVA, how many partitions we have? 6. 3 is for minimum and 3 is for maximum. Okay.
సార్ మరి స్పెషల్ క్యారెక్టర్స్ గురించి ఏం డిస్కస్ చేయలేదు సార్ బీవీఏలో.
BVA, what I talk about BVA, we are talking about the range. Okay. These 0 to 9, A to Z special characters, these are values.
ఓకే, అంటే సమ్ కేసెస్ లో స్పెషల్ క్యారెక్టర్స్ యూస్ చేస్తారు కదా సార్ యూజింగ్ పాస్వర్డ్
But here I am giving example like valid case is required. My requirement is valid case is lowercase a to z. Invalid case, all these will come as invalid. Okay, my requirement ఇది ఒక రిక్వైర్మెంట్ మనకు వచ్చింది. ఓకే, మీరు అన్నట్టు పాస్వర్డ్, బట్ నేనంటే పాస్వర్డ్ ఫీల్డ్ నేను మెన్షన్ చేయలేదు, ఓన్లీ యూజర్ నేమ్. ఓకే, మీరు అన్నట్టు స్పెషల్ కేస్ సూన్ ఇంకా ఉన్నాయి, మన ఇదే స్టార్టింగ్. ఓకే, అవి కూడా వస్తాయి. Okay, yeah, this is, as I said, this is my requirement. Valid is A to Z and invalid is this is my required. So ECP కి వచ్చినా సరే, okay, BVA కి వచ్చినా సరే, we have to consider this thing. Okay, let me stop, pause my recording. So that is for today's one. Okay, so today we talked about BVA, ECP, and test plans, test cases. Okay, tomorrow we'll discuss more on the rest of the 3 techniques. What are the left with? మన ఈరోజు మాట్లాడండి అబ్బా.